Just finished up a few things to get this bike done. I know it's been a little while since I've had an update or anything. I've been 3D printing parts. Basically, this is a fake, I want to call it a fake gas tank cover, something like that. Nonetheless, it's a cover for over top of the top of the battery, essentially, where the contactor and a few things are sitting. This one unfortunately failed with like 2 hours left in the print, and I was 46 hours into my print. Super frustrating. Nonetheless, I spent probably a good part of a week and a half, intermittently between other jobs and stuff, diagnosing what was wrong with my 3D printer. Apparently the cable chain that runs to the print head had cheap ribbon cable in it. And that, from flexing back and forth and the fact they kind of left it kinked inside that cable chain, it actually created a few spots where it would basically get intermittent connections, and it would create a temperature display. Like the temperature would read really funny sporadic spikes, and it would shut the printer down. And it was a really hard thing to diagnose because there's no like errors or faults or anything. I also use Octoprint, which lets you use a Raspberry Pi to monitor your print over a server, which is basically set up for your local network at home. You can actually use another program called Spaghetti Detective that actually lets you monitor it from over the internet from anywhere in the world, which is pretty handy. So but you have to have everything working well for that to actually work. Nonetheless, this is ASA. This is a lot like ABS, but it's a little more weather resistant, a little more doesn't fade in the sun as much, and it's pretty strong. Not quite as strong strength wise as PLA, but much higher temperature. Like you got to print, I got my printer running at you can see right there 250 degrees on the tool right now. So basically, and I got the bread at 90 degrees, and yeah, you can see like right now I'm printing another little test piece. Basically what I've done is, I don't even know where I set it. Oh, it's over there. I got a chain guard, which I've basically designed to be bent up once I get a piece of aluminum. Basically a piece of aluminum in somewhat like this shape will be water jet cut. And then basically there's a couple spots like this tab on the end here will be folded. It'll be bent basically, and the bottom will be bent in and then folded in two angles. And basically it'll come in something like this and kind of cover, the chain on the side, somewhere in that ballpark. The new one's printing, so I can just double check my new changes to the design. And nonetheless, once I verify just with a printer with a really quick print that works, I'll send it off to the metal shop and they'll water jet cut that piece for me. I'll just use the metal brake to bend up the pieces that I need to bend afterwards. And yeah, so basically I set up a heated chamber with ASA and ABS and nylon. You need to keep your printer and the air around it nice and warm. So with a heated bed at 90 degrees Celsius and everything else that's going on in there, this silver board, basically it's just like styrofoam essentially with like tinfoil on each side of it. It actually keeps it pretty warm inside there. So I don't even open it. I try and use the program with Octoprint so I can monitor it over a webcam. And then that way out as well, I can be watching a TV show or something, just quickly check my phone or my computer and make sure that it's actually looking okay and nothing's failed. Like the fake gas tank, that was a 48-hour print once I finally got it working. And this is the third iteration. It's got a couple tiny changes I want to make, but this will work to actually make the bike rideable. I even put a gauge in the top. Soon you'll see that in a video. This gauge is actually a pretty sweet, cheap little gauge that displays voltage, just voltage, and it's programmable, so you can set it to the cell chemistry and the cell number in series. And so it's set for 28S and lithium ion basically, and 117 volts, reads 100%. So it has a little display and reads voltage and a little battery icon, so it's kind of nice. That's all I wanted, just so I can have an idea what my voltage is on the trail. And then I've got to make a cover for the BMS yet, which is going to slide down in here, and that's really tight, so it's going to be tricky, but I have some ideas for that. And I got a new seat cover and a few things to do yet, but it's just about done. I'm pretty excited for it. Can't think of much else I wanted to say, but it is coming together. It's a little bit slow going with a few things, like when the 3D printer gives you issues like that. It's really frustrating. I also have a new sensor ring I've designed for the dyno shaft, which is actually going to be 12 teeth designed properly for the Hall effect sensor, so that should work really well. And then I'll be able to get more accurate low speed readings, so I can read torque from a lower RPM, probably more like, maybe 400 motor RPM or something like that. I'll be from there and up, it'll be a lot more accurate. And then last thing, I've been printing a few little covers, like protectors. This is a little protector to go over one of the bus bar wires. I guess it's actually a fuse. I forgot, it's to go over the fuse. So it's just to wrap around it and make everything touch safe, we'll call it. It's not waterproof or any of that sort of stuff. It's just to stop, if you drop a wrench, it's not going to land on a live wire. And then this cover will be over top as well. And I'll probably paint any exposed bars with Clipdol, which is actually really good. The green epoxy coating is really good if you can get your hands on it, but it's kind of like a powder coating. It's hard to put on. I don't have the equipment, so I'll have to do that later. Or I'll just use Clipdol actually. And then this is something like this. So if the Clipdol gets chipped or something like that, this will also mean, like if you drop a wrench or touch it with your hands are wet or whatever, it's another level of redundancy. Plus this cover here will actually protect it as well. But it's all coming together pretty good. I've also checked and my balance was out of whack a little bit. This is a battery that had basically sat on a shelf for a while, and it had let cell 10 drop down below the rest a fair bit because there was nothing telling the BMS to charge and nothing telling the BMS to balance, and it wasn't being charged and cycled enough to bring the cells back in balance. So I manually balanced it out, checked it looks good now, and then I just have to clean up a few more wires, and I think we're more or less ready. This thing will be a ripper here really soon. I've been making a few little other, like here's another connector I made to kind of support the hold the wires apart, and I have another one behind here that I just have to finish up a little bit, which has a front piece that goes on it. I have to remember where I put it, but just a few little handy 3D printed knickknacks. Here it is. To this is actually solid ASA as well. Handy 3D printed little knickknacks to kind of, actually this goes this way, to protect the wires and protect them so that your boots or something don't wear through or get some sort of weird issue like that. So once I'm done, this will all look pretty tidy, I think, and be as best I can do for kind of a modified Honda converted to electric, which makes things challenging for sure. But nonetheless, we're getting there. I think within a couple weeks-ish should be something I can just basically go for rips on, which reminds me, I need to order a couple new tires. Otherwise, stay tuned. Thanks.